Hey everyone, this is Andrew, long time no see, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about how to do that A Day to Remember scream. Now he might mix different techniques and stuff, but this is kind of his main scream. And just to simplify it beyond belief, it's the exact same thing as a low scream, what I call my low scream on my channel, which is just a typical like, yo! Like between the buried and me Opeth thing, but it's just kind of tighter. Meaning that when you first start to learn that new scream, it's kind of, very, it doesn't sound like there's not enough grit, it sounds floppy, like, you can almost hear the individual vibrations of the false chords, which is what makes the distorted sound, so it kind of has like a, sound to it, just faster. So the idea is when you get it tighter, you're using less air, it sounds a little more distorted, and you're losing less air so you can last a little bit longer. So just kind of give you an example of something, I'll just do some various A Day to Remember songs. I don't know really any of the lyrics as usual. I'm very bad with lyrics. Unless I look them up, I usually can't tell them just by ear for some reason. So anyways, I'll just do the ones that I know. So there's that part in the end of one of their songs from 2009 or something that's like, you won't make it out alive part. So it's like, you won't make it out alive! 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 That. And then there's also a danger in starting a fire, which I think shows his higher range of it a little bit, which is the exact same thing, just pulled higher. So, there's a danger in starting a fire! You never know how many bridges you'll burn! There's a danger in starting a fire! You'll never know how many bridges you'll burn! That. So I'm just going to kind of show you the process. It's the exact same thing as doing the low screams and what I call tightening the low screams. So I have a video specifically on that called How to Tighten Up Your Low Screams. But you kind of get it. So you get that original scream, that kind of like frustrated sigh sound, that and you just keep adding a little more pressure. And it sounds like that. And now if you keep it going, you'll eventually get to like a and you kind of just have to fool around with the stuff in your throat. So you'll probably get that floppier sound that I was talking about earlier. And that is good for some stuff if you can control the breath pressure behind it. But it sounds a little too deathy and not enough core-y, if you know what I mean. I don't know, it just sounds different. Like, between the Buried Me screams and Opeth screams sound different than Day to Remember screams. And I think that the tightening aspect is part of it. Opeth sounds very growly, and Between the Buried Me sounds much more, like, defined. Almost like it's less breathy and quieter. And the Day to Remember sounds like it's very tight, and when he holds it up to the microphone, it gets that big, very, like, thick, hardcore scream sound thing that he has, because I think he has a very good scream. I've never been huge into that band, but there's a lot of songs that I love by them, thus me not knowing their lyrics. So you get that low scream, and then you want to tighten it up. So you want to be able to fool around with the false chords, which are above your vocal cords. So when you get that, you have to feel what muscle it is that's making that sound. And this takes a lot of trial and error. So you kind of have to feel in your throat what is making that sound. And then you have to mess around with two things: breath pressure and the amount of tension you're using in your false chord. Or I call it tension. It's the amount of closure of your false chords, basically. So I can put a lot of breath pressure and very little closure. So if I go like I'll go from a sigh to it, just to show you what I mean. So like that's almost no false chord closure, but a lot of breath. So and it's harder in the throat. You can't hold it out very long. It doesn't sound very good. And then the tightening version is more like a so I get the and it's add a little more pressure. Yo! And then the shape of the mouth, of course, changes the stuff, because when you want to go higher, you open your mouth more and you kind of close out the space in the back of the throat. Lower, you need more resonant space, so you kind of lower down your Adam's apple larynx, and ooh, sorry, turn off the camera, and you make more space for it so it can make a lower sound. So you have like the, yes, a danger is starting a fire. And the higher ones take a bit to get. I'm still working on them, but yes, a danger is starting a fire. You'll never know how many bridges you burn. So as you can see, the mouth shape I'm doing. Yes, a danger is starting a fire. You have to change the breath pressure a little bit, but it's very similar. So it takes a lot of trial and error with the amount of false chord closure, because you can do a lot of breath, very little false chord closure, a lot of false chord closure, little breath, a lot of false chord closure, a lot of breath. So it just takes a lot of trial and error to get a sound that you want, and then you'll kind of just find that, like, if you're screaming a bunch of different bands, you'll automatically do different things. So like you'll be screaming A Day to Remember, as we're doing, and then you'll try to get their sound, and then you'll be screaming Between the Buried and Me, and I don't know. Seems the high horses taking the ride. I forget the lyrics actually again. Seems the high horse is taking it all home. Seems the high horse is taking it all home. Why can't it all just burn? I died out a little breath pressure in the middle. Or if you're trying to get like that Lamb of God sound that I can never do, they're like, destroy yourself, you're better alone. You know, you'll be doing all these different sounds. I'm not the best at low screams. I'm not the best at screaming, but I feel like I know how to progress with it. I use high screams way more often, but low screams are a challenge to get that sustain out. You'll notice that when you switch from word to word, there's a lot more pressure, so you can probably hold out one long thing, one long syllable word, one long vowel longer than you can hold out a bunch of words the same length. So like when I did that Between the Buried and Me thing, and I died out, so like seems the high horse is taking it all home. I'm very low on air by the end. But like if I was just to go James, I can't time it. I didn't look at my clock, but I felt like that was longer than the seems the high horse is taking it all home. There's something with doing words that takes a lot more air, so I think that's what I personally need to work on as far as wasting air, is focus on what I'm losing breath-wise when I do those words. I think I'm putting a little more emphasis on each vowel, or each consonant when I'm doing that. So like I'm putting more air and I'm wasting air, and the idea is to not waste air. And learning how to control your breath pressure and tightening the false chords is all kind of going hand in hand with not using much air. So anyways, I kind of been ranting a lot with this video, but I don't just want to say like, hey, band A Day to Remember, they're doing low screams, show that there. I'd rather teach you how to figure out what your own screams are and how to figure out the bands you love what they're doing. If you just kind of think about, I don't know if I have my speaker in the wind there, if you think about how each band sounds and you try to replicate it, you fool around, you eventually figure out, hey, they're doing this, because when I keep manipulating my voice this way, you'll get it. So I'm sorry for the rant, and sorry for not posting in a while. I'm in school, I'm taking summer classes, the end of the week, and then I'll hopefully be doing more videos for you guys. I'd appreciate it if you'd let me know what kind of videos you guys would like. Just in the comments of this section, I'd appreciate you. Ask me any vocal questions you want, and I'll try to pick out ones and make videos for it, depending on what I think is actually needs a video, or I'll try to respond to you in text writing in the comment section. Yeah, so rate this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you'd like more, and I appreciate you watching. See you guys later. Have a good night.